Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Today's review comes with a wealth warning because watching this is likely to seriously damage your wallet. So, proceed with caution as I review the Artemis PP750. Hello and welcome to...
Hang on.
What? Sorry, I'm trying to film here.
Well, that's as it may be. But what about sorting out some of the things that your viewers have been asking for?
And what do you mean?
Well, it's all right for you sat there in your fancy AAR shirt, which does look quite neat, actually. But what about producing some stuff for the people out there who keep asking for AAR gear? Like this fancy hat, for example.
Well, funny you should ask, because I have actually been sorting just that.
Have you now?
Yes, there is now an AAR website that has lots of different stuff available for the guys out there.
Really? Like what?
Well, like caps, t-shirts, fleeces, and even soft shell jackets.
But are they any good?
Yep, they're really good quality, and getting the quality right was why it's taken so long. I wanted the logos to be embroidered, not transfers.
So what have they got to do to get their hands on this stuff?
Simple, really. Just go to the new AAR On Air website and get it from there. Oh, and if there is a demand for it, then we may well extend the range of stuff.
Will it suit everyone?
Everyone?
I don't want that! Unless you've got blue, please.
Just visit the AAR On Air website for details. Can I get back to the programme now?
Okay.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to AAR On Air. Today is the turn of the Artemis PP750, and I suppose I've already let the cat out the bag. This is a little beauty, so let's really put it to the test and scrutiny, shall we? And let's also compare it to one or two other sort of similar guns, because this is a pistol and yet a rifle too, a takedown and a PCP to boot. As usual, I'm going to start with the walk around to set the scene. First thing to let you know is this retails at £299 UK. Now, just under £300 is not a small amount of money in times like these, but let's just see what it is you get for your money, and then decide if it's expensive or the bargain of the year. First impressions is one of a refreshing new style, solidly made and crying out to have fun with. I have the 22 and the 177 caliber versions here. They are fairly weighty items, and they weigh in at 1440 grams without any form of additional sighting aid, and it is quite long. Closed, it's 425 millimeters long, or 16 3/4 inches. Fully open, it's 675 millimeters, or 26.5 inches. Or if you remove the sliding skeleton stock, the pistol alone is 405 millimeters, or 16 inches approximately. The pistol, rifle, gun is predominantly all black and made of metals. There is very little plastic to be found on this other than the rather clever designed sliding front dovetail rail, giving maximum choice around sights you may want to fit. And I wouldn't want to stake my life on that being plastic, actually. The grips are wooden and real wood, and though a simple design, they work perfectly well and give it a warm feel. From the front then, the barrel has an element of shrouding to it, but it isn't the quietest gun I've ever fired and would benefit from an aftermarket silencer, which I feel quite confident will be around, if not now, then maybe in the future. That said, it isn't so loud to cause any major upset to the neighbours. On top of this barrel is a fixed front open sight. This matches up with the rear sight, which is adjustable. adjust. It has an element of elevation adjustment, but this is crying out for an external sight. And to be honest, using this as a rifle, it's impossible to actually line the sights up whilst you're resting on the skeleton stock. But more about that later. Under the barrel is the air cylinder with a twist dust cover over the filler port and a very easy to read gauge at the front. This is charged up to a maximum of 250 bar, which is good for just over 500 shots in this, the UK spec gun. Naturally, higher powered guns will give fewer shots. Moving back to the breech, which again is all metal, this is supplied with a single shot magnetic tray and magazine, giving you full choices. This magazine is the same as the other Artemis pistols and is more than capable of doing the job it's intended for. And it's also pretty simple to load up. The trigger is also metal and is a two-stage item with a pull rate of a slightly heavy £5 straight out of the box, but it does appear to be adjustable to be able to try and get a feel that would suit you. The safety is a push-through item that simply locks the trigger and is a nice click and is fully effective. There is a red dot indicator to show you when it's in fire mode. The cocking arm is nicely engineered to fit neatly and snugly into the main body, leaving just a small cutaway to access. The initial opening is spring loaded, and then a simple but firm pull back is all that's required. Now I must say that straight out of the box this was a little stiff and a little jerky. Now I don't normally mess about with guns when I review them, preferring to review them simply as they come out of the box. But in this case I made an exception and simply applied a little oil to the mechanism, and this improved the action greatly. Then we have the slide out stock, which is very quick and simple to operate and turns this gun into an effective rifle in a fraction of a second. Simply squeeze the two lugs, golden buttons or whatever you want to call them, on either side, and then pull the stock into place. This is a simple system of two rods that are held in place by 4 points on the gun. The rear 2 points are the push button that operate it and allow it to slide past the groove that is cut out into either side of the rods, holding it in place. If you want it to go further, simply squeeze further and the whole unit comes apart. The butt pad is rubberized and has an anti-slip feel to it. It is even height adjustable using the screw on the front edge. This stock can be completely removed and then the gun used as a simple pistol if preferred. At this point it's worth highlighting that with the stock in the closed position, it's almost impossible to get your hand around to use it as a pistol. You have got to move it further away, or better still, if you're going to use it as a pistol, remove it completely. So, what is it like in action? As a pistol, you have the option to use this with open sights, and in use it is quite front heavy due to that longer barrel and the air cylinder underneath. This isn't a problem, and realistically this is going to be used mostly in rifle mode, and as such is really quite stable as a rifle. It is pretty light and it's easy to hold on target. It can also be carried around easily all day when closed up and can be carried in a backpack, making things even simpler. At this point, it is worth pointing out there is a small amount of twist to the stock, which I suppose is to be expected, but it still leaves the gun stable enough. Again, there is no cheek rest, and you're simply resting on the cold steel, but this is a trade-off for all the other benefits of this gun. As already stated, using the open sights in the rifle mode is more or less impossible, so an additional sighting device is going to be needed. This is where the one real issue raises its head. You see, do you fit a pistol scope or do you fit a rifle scope? Because using the wrong scope in the wrong mode makes it pretty awkward. So you either need to make the decision on which scope you fit and stick with it, certainly in that mode, or fit a red dot, which I have done on the 2.2 version. This gives you either option covered, but naturally you have no magnification. Personally, I see this as a lower powered takedown, shorter range rifle and would fit a low magnification scope and simply benefit from its lightweight and terrific portability. The power level on this is different according to the laws of your country or area. These two are the UK versions and as such would be restricted to sub 6 foot-pounds. This is the maximum power allowed for pistols. It comes under the pistol laws simply because it can be fired without the extended stock. There is an adjustment screw on the back, but no matter what you turn this to, the power will not exceed the 6 foot-pound power limit. Well, not on the UK versions. So, over to the Chrono then to see what this is producing. 177 first, using 8.44 grain JSBs. This saw a maximum of 546 feet per second, which is 5.59 foot-pounds or 7.58 joules. Using lighter 7.87 grain JSBs saw a slightly higher 574 feet per second, which is 5.76 foot-pounds or 7.81 joules. The key issue really is also the spread, which was only 4 feet per second, showing consistency too. So this is pretty bang on for the UK market. The .22 next, this was using 15.89 grain JSBs and gave 408 feet per second, which is 5.87 foot-pounds or 7.97 joules. I did then use the lighter 13 grain JSBs, which saw 425 feet per second, which is 5.39 foot-pounds or 7.3 joules. Again, with only 3 feet per second spread, and that's close enough to the 6 foot-pound maximum. So, power levels are really good, but can we hit anything with it? So, time to hit the range. Problem is, what distance? Because 10 metres is a little short for this and 40 to 50 metres is probably a little far. Well, I thought let's take it out to 30 metres, which is a good distance and should be challenging enough, but add Mrs. AAR into the mix, a non-shooter. So here goes. Let's take a look at a full 40 metres then, shall we? Don't forget, this is basically a pistol with an extendable twin bar stock. I think the results are really pretty good, and to be honest, the scope was far too low on magnification for any serious target work. Comparison then. At this point, I was looking to pigeonhole this to see who this will appeal to. It is very close to the PP750W, but with a side lever and magazine multi-shot system. which means it's more advanced and has improved upon a gun which was a firm favourite of mine. So, is it more of a competitor to the Airgun Leshy? Yet another favourite of mine. Well, it is a fraction of the price of the Leshy, but is nowhere near the power level. And of course, the Leshy cannot be used as a pistol, where the PP750 can. The Leshy, of course, is only single shot rather than multi-shot of the 750. Unless, of course, you look at the new Leshy 2, which is multi-shot and semi-automatic as well. No doubt I'm going to love it, but this is a fraction of the price. So I suppose it doesn't match any of these and is probably closer to the CP2. But again, this is faster to transform. And even though it doesn't have the overall power level of the CP2, it is a PCP rather than CO2. It's probably better to say what it can be used for. I would say closer target work, plinking and small closer pest control, unless you're in a part of the world where you aren't limited to the 6 foot-pound restrictions, in which case you're going to be hitting closer to the 12 foot-pound. Then it could be used over greater distances and slightly larger pests. The real reason for owning one of these is because it is fun and I think really good value for money. I'll be looking to add one of these to my collection as soon as possible, and who knows, if the lockdown stays in place long enough, they may even forget about this one. And I can already see Mrs. AAR rolling her eyes into the back of her head again. But secretly, she enjoyed this one. Maybe it's one to get all the family involved with. Well, that's it for this week. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the alarm bell to make sure you're told when the new stuff comes out. Please take care in these troubled times and stay safe. And of course, shoot safe. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. But before you go, yep, they're really good quality. Well, you're going to have to go back a bit.
Which does look quite neat, actually. But what about producing some stuff that the people out there keep asking for? Do you want to just carry on?
It's going to be about take 28. Just think of all the exercise you're getting in lockdown. Thanks for watching.